The second step in owning the curriculum and making it your own is understanding the individual concepts that you have to teach. Now, I realize that's very, very similar to understanding the curriculum, and we really did cover most of it in the last video anyway. So I'm including like just teaching the concepts in this one as well. First, you must look at the lesson objectives and the evidence of learning for each lesson so that you know what your kid needs to be able to do. If you can nail those down, you've got the lesson. That's all you really need to worry about. When we're drilling down to find out what the concepts are that we need to be teaching, we're looking at the lesson objectives and the evidence of learning. Those are the concepts that we're teaching. To get more of an idea of specifically what the kids need to understand, just a quick flip through the lesson and a look at these speech bubbles and these like yellow boxes. They really do just explain the concepts that the kids need to know. And then the lesson books, they'll obviously go on to all of these extra activities and worksheets. But you can, instead of going on and doing these extra activities and worksheets, you can look at that and go, there's actually probably an easier way, a better way for my student to work through this concept. So that's what we did. I think we may have done something similar to this, where we looked at different groups of people and talked about their needs and wants. And I probably linked it to another part of the curriculum where we might have been studying a different group of people, maybe for a history thing, I don't remember. But we looked at like their needs and wants versus our needs and wants. And we looked at, adults versus students and so on. Like, different needs and wants there. So provided that it's not a send-in sheet, you can leave out these activities and do your own thing here. Now, this lesson here, we can see, does have a send-in sheet. Sheet 3 is a send-in sheet. That has got to be sent to your teacher, so you do need to do that. But the rest of it, you can do your own thing. Next, the send-in tasks and assessment tasks. You do need to make sure that your child does those, but is able to do those independently. So you're aiming, in your teaching, you're aiming to get them to that point of being able to complete that send-in task, complete that assessment task with no help from you whatsoever. So they look and go, oh yeah, I know this, and can do it. So the process of looking at your assessment task and your send-in tasks and the guide to making judgments, the GTMJ, and working out how to get your kid to that point of being able to do that is called backwards planning. And that is quite important for working out how you're going to teach these units if you want to adapt them or make them a little bit more relevant for your learning environment.
It's really, really important to do this in conjunction with your teacher. So if you are changing the curriculum a little bit or doing your own thing with it, make sure you're talking to your teacher about it and you've got their okay for that, and they're comfortable with you changing things up and swapping things around.
How do you make this concept relevant to your students? That's really what you're focusing on in any adaptations you make. You want to make those lesson objectives and the evidence of learning relevant to your students. This doesn't mean that you're making it so that it's something that the students already know, because education is about broadening their horizons. You want to make it relevant, but you also want to push them to learn something new and something different and give them a fresh perspective on the world. Once you know the curriculum and you understand what is being taught, the overarching concept, and you've had a look at all of the lesson objectives, and you know what's being taught, what you can then do is have a think about your students' needs and how they learn, and you can tailor it to them. So for this, what we actually did is I looked at what it was about, consumer decision making in Australian communities. I knew what she was going to be assessed on. I knew the concepts. I had gone through this. I knew the concepts that she needed to learn,
And rather than doing this, and as you can see, there are quite a few, some filled in, but quite a few blank pages. What we actually did is I decided to put it into practical terms. We went shopping for a birthday present for my nephew, and so she had to look at all of the factors that we were learning about here, all the things that influence consumer decision making, and take those factors into account in purchasing a gift. So I had her interview my sister and my nephew, who was not very much help, but my sister was able to give Isla an idea of what were important, what values we had, and what she really needed in a gift, and as opposed to like what he would really love for a gift, and we worked off that.
Something that is going to save you a lot of time is trying to teach in line with another subject. So HAS and your daily reading are really easy ones to teach together. It saves time and it's actually better for the students. Research shows that students learn better when you are combining subjects.
So most of our HAS, we learn through stories. I will find a book that is about that particular HAS topic. So when we're doing Eureka Stockade, The Night They Stormed Eureka by Jackie French, that's what we did. I think this year, Year 6, they are learning at Federation. And there is a book, a My Story book about Federation. I think it's called Plagues in Federation. And we'll be reading that this year. It's going to cover the topic, and it's going to be so much more fun than just sitting down and learning, just rote information about it.
And lastly, be creative. I can't tell you how to do this exactly or exactly how to teach these units because I don't have your students and I don't have your skills and I don't have your personality. All of those things are going to factor into how you take that, make it your own and teach it. So yeah, do your own thing. Make sure you cover the lesson objectives, the evidence of learning, the send-in tasks and the assessment tasks, and make it your own.